In an attempt to get rich quick, Mohamed Abboud and Kusai Jundi came up with a plan to defraud a 71-year-old businesswoman of her properties, which at the time they pretended to be purchasing for 4.6 million euros. Things didn't go quite as planned, leading to the brutal murder of 71-year-old Loise Kam. Welcome back to the Insight Edition. My name is Yusuf, and on today's episode of Criminal Diaries, we are going all the way to the city of London to look into the case of how Kusai Jundi and Mohamed Abboud brutally murdered Loise Kam in her own house and then started posting videos on TikTok while on the same property. Nothing much can be said about 71-year-old Loise Kam. The little we know about her is that she was a divorced mother of two who loved her children so much and will do everything in her power to ensure that their lives were set. She had previously co-owned a very successful catering business with her husband, and the money she got from the business, she used it to venture into rental properties. Before her death, she owned two properties in North London, a house in Barnet which was valued at 1.3 million euros and a shop with 3 flats in Wellsden. When she started to show interest in selling the two properties for the benefit of her children, a friend of hers introduced her to Kusai Jundi. Kusai, at the time, was a chef at the Yasmin Sham restaurant in Wellsden. He lived with his mother, his wife, and their 3 children in Harrow. Although he had a wife and 3 kids, he pretended to have a very wealthy girlfriend who was working abroad. He fed Loise the narrative that the girlfriend was willing to buy her properties for 4.6 million euros, and the icing on the cake was that the deal will be done in a way that taxes will be avoided. Although Loise was warned by her son Gregory, she insisted in going ahead with the deal. Kusai spent the month leading to July 2021 just convincing Loise and befriending her. All this while, Loise was insisting to meet the real person who was buying her properties and finalize the deal, not knowing that what seemed like a golden opportunity was actually a sham, as Kusai's wealthy girlfriend was non-existent and Kusai himself had little to nothing on his name. Mohamed Abboud gets into the picture in July 2021. Mohamed was a delivery driver working at the same restaurant Kusai did. In July 2021, Kusai filled Mohamed in with the details of the long con that he was playing on Loise Kam. Mohamed was promised a reward for his participation and was instructed to move into the house of Loise Kam in Barnet. Mohamed moved into the house and started treating it as his own long before they killed Loise. He was way too comfortable in the house that he will shoot TikTok videos in there, showing his viewers around the house and at times dancing senselessly with his girlfriend. When Kusai noticed that Loise was becoming a little too stubborn in letting go of the properties, he arranged a meeting with her at the house in Barnet, and he promised her that in the meeting everything will be finalized. The meeting was on the 26th of July 2021. On the 26th of July 2021, Loise Kam was seen by a family member while shopping at the Spires shopping center in North London. The family member didn't know that this was the last time she was going to see Loise alive. Loise drove all the way to her house in Barnet. After entering the house, she realized that something was very, very wrong because inside there was only Kusai and another man who didn't look like a buyer or a solicitor. It is believed that at this moment, Mohamed Abboud strangled Loise to death using the cord of a hair dryer. The two men took the body of Loise Kam and concealed it in a wheelie bin. When Kusai realized that Loise Kam's family and friends will get worried and suspicious if she just disappeared, he decided to text them from her phone. While he pretended to be her, he told them that Loise had traveled to China on a holiday. He then texted them using his phone and told them that Loise had defrauded him some millions of euros. Unlucky for him, Gregory Kam, the son to Loise, didn't buy this narrative and filed a missing persons report on his mother with the police. Mohamed Abboud sold the BMW car belonging to Loise Kam, and he used the money to buy himself some flashy new clothes, which he wore while shooting a video of himself dancing in the driveway of Loise Kam's house, just a day after brutally murdering her in the same place. You can imagine for yourself the type of twisted animal he is. Following the horrific news that Loise was missing, many of her friends came forward to give out information that might lead to her finding. The most important clue, however, came from the friend who had introduced Loise to Kusai. She informed the police about the meeting Loise had to attend on the 26th of July 2021 at her house in Barnet. This was the same day that she went missing. In the house, they found reasons to believe that someone was living there in the recent times, as there were dirty plates and fast food delivery boxes left on the tables. Unfortunately, they couldn't find anything more that would help in finding Loise. So, after the search, they went to question Kusai Jundi, and it didn't take them long to realize that he knew more than he was actually telling them. So, they brought him in for further questioning. Kusai then refused to talk to the police. 2 days after Loise Kam had disappeared, her car was found in a nearby driveway. After the supposed owner was talked to, she informed the police that the car had been sold to her by Mohamed Abboud, who had pretended that it was his. The police officers proceeded to arrest Mohamed on suspicion of conspiracy to commit murder. After strong physical and digital evidence was presented to him, Mohamed Abboud cracked. He confessed that he and Kusai Jundi had planned to defraud Loise Kam of her properties. They later resorted to murdering her when things seemed to not be going as planned. He even told the police of how they put Loise Kam's body in a wheelie bin and later on moved the bin to the family home of Kusai Jundi in Barnet. They placed it where other rubbish bins were, with the hopes that the bin collectors will come, pick and dispose it during the week. Police officers went straight to Kusai's residence and arrested him. The body of Loise Kam was found tucked in a bin covered in a duvet with garden dirt placed on top to disguise the body. In the bin, a pair of gloves and a bin bag were also retrieved. The bin bag and gloves positively matched Kusai's DNA. The hairdryer was also found in Kusai's home. The DNA on the hairdryer positively matched Mohamed's DNA, thus linking both the men to the murder of Loise Kam. Despite the fact that all evidence and even the TikTok videos were incriminating them, the two denied murdering Loise Kam. Kusai Jundi and Mohamed Abboud were sentenced to life in prison. The two will spend at least 35 years in prison before they are eligible for parole. Sure, nothing can be done to bring Loise Kam back to her loved ones, but the guilty verdict and the harsh sentence handed to the two perpetrators might have brought some peace in their hearts since justice was served. Thank you for taking your time to watch our stories. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.